It is that time of the week again for your recruiting report, joined by Otis Kirk of our Hogville.net, of course, really on top of football recruiting and one of the best in the business. Otis, let's go ahead and get started talking about Rocket Sanders. He's a guy we've talked about before, making a decision on Monday.
Yeah, it's his birthday Monday and I got a feeling the Rocket Man's going to land, and his commitment's going to land in Fayetteville. Yeah, I feel real good about Arkansas's chances of getting him. He's from Rockledge, Florida. Helped the team to an 8-2 record last year. He's 6'2", 210. Alyssa, I'm sorry. He can play different positions, but Arkansas is recruiting him to play receiver. But, he had 15 catches for 368 yards and a couple of touchdowns last year and had some rushing yards, too, in 7 games. He was hurt some. But on defense, he had 17 tackles, 6 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles from his free safety spot. So that shows you he will hit you. And he's a big kid, 6'2", 210. He's got his choices down. He narrowed it down to Arkansas, Florida State, Missouri, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. But I feel really certain that tomorrow he will pick Arkansas. Feel real good about that prediction, yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to that announcement tomorrow. All right, expanding a little bit on Sam Pittman, he said that he anticipates a lot of official visits during this season. Does that have something to do with the fact that the NCAA extended that dead period?
Yeah, it does, and the fact that they killed the official visits back in spring last year, Arkansas. I wrote a story the other day. They had several official visitors in by this time last year, Alyssa, and they just didn't get to bring it. No one has made an official visit to Arkansas, so they're all going to have to come in. And with kids wanting to sign early, there's not enough time after the season. There's maybe a couple of weekends because they had one weekend last year before the early signing period, and then. But the first weekend was gone because that's the weekend they were hiring Sam. Mm-hmm. So, but this year they'll have a couple there. But still, it's just not enough time to bring. You don't want to have 20 kids in at one time if you can avoid. And it's not the perfect situation to have them in during the season because the coaches are concentrating on the game. The kids played the night before, as Sam talked about. Even if they play Thursday night, it's still, they have to rush back to get back to practice because that team's playing too. It's really not an ideal situation. In the past, what Arkansas tried to do is bring kids in for official visits during the season. They were going to make a decision before the season ended. And then you've got no choice. You have to bring them in, because if you don't, they'll go and commit, and then you're not going to get a visit. But this is not a perfect situation. But the good thing, if there is such a good thing in this, is the fact that everybody's playing by everybody's bound by. Everybody's kind of playing by the same rules. This affected everybody. It's not just like this affected Arkansas or this affected the SEC. This affected everyone, Alyssa. So it's not like it's more of a disadvantage for Arkansas than it is for the next team. So it's just unfortunate, but it's a product of this virus and just the everything that's had. It's been a strange year. When Sam took this job, remember, Alyssa, everybody was talking about taking over a team that won 8 games in 3 years, 1 SEC game. Right now, that's probably the least of this guy's worries. He's had no spring practice. His kids went home at midterm, middle of the second semester. Coaches didn't get to go out on evaluation periods. They're not going to get to hold prospect camps. It's just been the record is the least of his worries. And he still hasn't got to practice his football team one time. So, but yeah, it's just a product of everything. But let me tell you. There's 3 other coaches in the SEC, one at Missouri, one at Ole Miss, one at Mississippi State. They're having the same thing that Sam's having. I don't know if maybe one of those 2 or 3 of those schools had a practice or 2 in the spring, but whatever. They didn't get to finish. And it's just, like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's something that at least it's kind of a level playing field, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, you know what I tell you, Otis, as these dominoes keep falling, the one thing about Sam Pittman continuing to have a positive attitude and keeping an open mind. Let's talk about a guy in Jaden Wilson who committed to Arkansas earlier in the week. I know that you talked a lot about him then, but kind of just recap that decision for us.
Well, he narrowed it down to 10 schools, and he was another kid I picked to go to Arkansas. He had 28 receptions for 520 yards and 6 touchdowns. The sad news out of DeSoto is he lost a teammate, had a wreck this week, and passed away. And so you just hate to see that with everything else that's going on. But Jaden made his choice, picked Arkansas over UCLA, Illinois, Utah, Missouri, Louisville, Kansas, Oregon State, California, and Nebraska. Got a 4.1 grade point. And here's the thing about him. He's 6'3". He doesn't weigh as much as the Rocket, man, he's his Rockets, Sanders. 210. This kid's probably 175 at the most. But the thing about it is he's 6'3", and he can go up and get the balls. We were talking the other day when he committed. I pointed out that there was if you watch his tape, and it's on that story on Pig Trail Nation Hogville, the story I wrote. I got his highlight in there. It's 3 minutes and I want to say 3 minutes and 26 seconds. But anyway, you have to watch it all because the last two plays, he goes up and gets balls. He has no business getting those, Alyssa. I mean, those are not 50-50, but, it's popular to say he'll get the 50-50 ball. No, I mean, he got the 25-75 ball. I mean, he had 1 in 4 chance getting that thing, and he got it both times. It's impressive. It's worth watching, and there's a lot of good plays on that video. You'll see also, when I'm talking about being a smart receiver, there's times the quarterback is in trouble. He comes back, and he doesn't just hold up his hand and stay in the same spot. He comes back, and he's smart. He knows where the opening is going to be for the quarterback to see him and get the ball to him when the quarterback is scrambling and not being able to sit in the pocket. He's being rushed. This kid's really smart. He's a very good football player. Arkansas got a steal there. They beat some really good schools for him. He and Sanders will give them a good start at receiver, and hopefully they can add keep running later on. But regardless, it's going to give them a great start. There were two very good receivers for Coach Stepp and, of course, Coach Brow's offense and everything, and then, of course, Sam.
Of course. You love to hear it. All right, let's take a closer look at that class of 2020 because they've got 5 offers out right now. They're going to offer some more. I'll read down the list. We have Marion Harris, Andrew Chambly, James Joyner, Isaiah Satanga, Quincy McAdoo. So let's talk about those guys.
Well, those are all kids that's got big-time offers. Every single one of those 5 kids has got other offers. They've got other Power 5. I mean, they've got other Power 5 offers that are impressive. Not just Power 5 offers, but offers that are very impressive. Each and every one of those kids do. In fact, Marion's first offer was to Alabama. And when he was in the 9th grade, Nick Saban offered him a scholarship. His dad played for the Hogs, and he plays at Joe T, helped them win a state championship, plays both ways for that Joe T team. He'll be on offense in college, though, and then Chambly's just a big kid. I mean, that is a big human kid. And he gets out there and pulls props and stuff on his at his house. His dad's a great person, has him training out there, and I mean, he didn't slow down a bit during the COVID-19. Joyner is he's one of 4 kids at Parkview. I talked to Coach Bolding last night. He called me and we had a conversation. We're going to talk again, but we were talking about, and Joyner is just here's a kid that can play. He's 6'1", probably 200, can play safety or running back. And he told me he doesn't care, because a lot of people were saying, he wanted to play running back or he wasn't going to. He told me he wants to play where he can get on the field quicker. He can do either. He will be an impact player in the college level on either side of the ball he ends up on. He could be on both sides of the ball. He could be an impact player. That's how good Joyner is. The other kid, Satagna's just a fast kid. His dad's track coach, and stuff. And then the kid from Clarendon just kind of came out of nowhere and then jumped up, and he's got I think 14 offers, something like that. I wrote this yesterday, but I mean, he's got he's just he played at Hazen at one time with Blaine Toll and moved back to Clarendon, and just, man, he's good. He is just, he's another kid's about 6'3", and got good height out there. And he and Isaiah are 2 receivers that those are the kind of kids, kind of like the one Arkansas's got, and probably the one they're going to get. And then those 2 kids, those are what you want at receiver, Lisa. Those are the type kids you want to get. And there's some other kids in that class. I mean, I love Dax Courtney down at DeWitt. We talked about him a week or 2 ago on this show. But Dax Courtney is just a good football player. Caden Turner's another kid over at Fayetteville High School. But there's a lot of players. I love the kids that guys now. Terrell Anderson is a fast running back. Timothy Don down at Camden Fairview is another big offensive lineman. Tadarian Blair is a lineman. And then, of course, Chase Jessup over at Lake Hamilton on Friday weighed in. They measured and weighed him in for the football this season. He's 6'6", 287 pounds in the 11th grade. And he plays basketball. He got very good footwork. This is a very impressive kid. Chase Jessup's his name, and I've written about him. In fact, I've written stories on every kid we're talking about today on these kids. So, you can look them up. But, there's some good ball players out there in that class. There's in the class of 2022 that we're talking about, I think there's 12, 13 kids got Power 5 offers already. And when they were in the 10th grade, I think like 12 or 13 of them got Power 5 offers.
Wow, that's impressive. All right.
Yeah,
lastly,
it is. For Arkansas, it's very impressive.
Yeah, lastly, let's talk about Corey Nichols. This is a guy in the class of 2023. He's a quarterback out of Bryant.
Yeah, he's a kid that, if that name sounds familiar, it should. His dad played here in 95 through 97, played for Danny Ford and Houston Nutt, and he transferred out his senior year. I believe Corey Sr. went to UAPB, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. I should have checked that out closer. But I do know Corey lettered here from 95, 96, and 97. But I'm telling you, and Corey was a great running back at Little Rock McClellan when he was in high school. I loved him. But I'm telling you, his son's going to be better than him. He is a quarterback. He's right now he's only about 5'10", 170. He's a very good point guard. You can ask Kevin about him. He knows about him, but he's a very good point guard too. But he was 10-0 at Bryant Junior High last year. Led them to an undefeated season as quarterback. He passed for 1,183 yards and 16 touchdowns, and he rushed for 689 yards and 12 touchdowns. I had someone that knows he and his dad really well, and he told me the same thing. And I'm saying here, this kid's gonna be a lot better than his old man was. That was the words. That's what that guy told me. Said he's gonna be a lot better than his old man was. And so, I mean, but no, Corey. Younger Corey, if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be one heck of a football player or basketball or both. But he is a great athlete, Alyssa. I mean, he's so smart. He's just a very nice kid, as you would expect, as was Corey. But it's weird to watch these kids. I mean, this state is getting some prospects in these younger classes that are really coming up. You know, Arkansas's offered a couple of 2023 kids. You know, and it wouldn't surprise me if eventually they offer Nichols. Nichols. It just wouldn't surprise me eventually. And, you know, I got to say this right up front. Bryant, we all know, has a quarterback who's committed to Arkansas to play baseball. He's going to be a senior over there, pretty good ball player. He's a decent player. But, Corey may not get to play quarterback much this year, although they do blow some teams out, so he may get some up. But boy, eventually he's going to take over. He's somebody to watch. He is worth the price of admission to go watch this kid play. And, I don't know what they're going to do with him this year, but he could even play somewhere else if he had to for a year or two, and then be the backup quarterback as well in case Ledbetter got hurt.
Yeah.
But he is just a great athlete. As obviously, like I said, he'd probably be D1 in basketball as well.
Yeah, well, hey, nothing wrong with getting some versatility in your arsenal as well. Of course,
exactly.
We'll keep an eye on him, as well as, remember, as he mentioned, read all of Otis's articles over on our hogville.net. Otis, always great to catch up with you, man. Thanks, and we will talk to you next week.
Okay. Thanks, Alyssa.